gun for me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, I'm gonna take the test. I'm gonna take the test.
That doesn't change anything. You still are going to be arrested.
For what? You don't have any proof on me.
No, ma'am, I do.
GloRilla just got slammed with a major sentence after police found a huge stash of marijuana in her home. Add that to her past DUI and reckless driving charges, and it's looking like Memphis's hottest rapper might never hit the stage again. Here's how it all went downhill, from the trenches to the top. It's not looking good for GloRilla right now. The Memphis Queen is behind bars. Check this out. GloRilla got arrested on July 22, 2025 in Forsyth County, Georgia on some felony possession charges, weed, and a controlled substance. But hold up, before y'all start thinking she was out here trapping or moving weight, let me tell you how this really went down. This arrest ain't happened because she was on the corner slinging or because she got caught dirty in a traffic stop. Nah, fam. This happened because some grimy-ass burglars broke into her crib while she was out of town performing at the WNBA All-Star Weekend. And when the police showed up to investigate the break-in, they found some bud in her bedroom and decided that arresting the victim was more important than catching the real criminals. Let that marinate for a second, fam. Shorty calls the law because her house got violated, her family got traumatized, and her money got stolen. And instead of these boys in blue focusing on finding the real perpetrators who committed the actual crimes, they decided to flip the script and make her the criminal. They booked her and she had to post a $22,260 bond. All because she had some personal stash in her own damn house that she wasn't even at when the crime happened. Her response on social was raw as hell and kept it all the way real. She hit Twitter with some fire that got over 3.6 million views. Crazy. My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star Game. And instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. But to really understand how we got to this point, we got to rewind and talk about the come-up story that brought Gloria Hallelujah Woods from the blocks of South Memphis to headlining major events. This ain't your typical rags to riches fairy tale. This is some real hood struggle turned triumph that Hollywood couldn't even script properly. Picture growing up in a spot where you got 9 siblings, 6 brothers, and 4 sisters all cramped up in South Memphis, which anybody who knows is one of the grittiest, most unforgiving neighborhoods in the South. We talking about a situation where every meal was a struggle, where air mattresses was luxury furniture, and where making it to the next week was an accomplishment in itself. But Gloria wasn't just another face in that crowded household. Her moms marked her as different from jump, giving her that middle name, Hallelujah, while all her brothers got Carmichael and her sisters got Nicole.
My mama always say she marked me, but I ain't never feel no special than none of the other kids. We all was treated the same. It's just growing up, my mama had me near her, like I was like right hand.
Now here's the part that's going to surprise some of y'all who only know Glo from her street anthems. Before she was spitting bars about being FNF, Shorty was in the church heavy. And I mean heavy. She was in the choir singing gospel joints like Amazing Grace and Encourage Yourself. And her family was at church every single Sunday without fail. This girl had pipes and could really sing, not just rap.
I used to sing Amazing Grace. I used to sing this song called Encourage Yourself.
You were really a singer.
Yeah, I used to be singing in church like I had a good voice. And then once I had got in high school, we weren't going to church like that. When I got into high school, then when I got in high school, I had started smoking weed.
And forget the singing.
But you know how it goes. The streets got a way of calling young people. And when high school hit, church became less frequent and Gloria started experimenting with that loud pack. The singing took a back seat to other priorities, and the path that would eventually lead to rap stardom began to take shape. Fast forward to early 2022, and we find Gloria linking up with producer HitKit on what would become the track that changed the whole game. FNF, let's go. Now, this wasn't just some random studio session. This was lightning in a bottle. That once-in-a-generation type magic that you can't manufacture or fake. The song absolutely demolished every platform it touched, going viral on TikTok, hitting the Billboard Hot 100, and even snagging a Grammy nomination. But let's keep it 100 about what FNF really represented in the culture. This wasn't just another rap joint. This was a whole anthem for women who was tired of settling for less than they deserve. Free became a battle cry for females who was ready to level up without needing some broke boy to validate them. The message was crystal clear. I don't need no dusty dude to pay my bills, boost my confidence, or define my worth. But success in the music game always comes with drama. And the FNF situation was no different. Hitkid, the producer who crafted the beat, came sideways claiming that GloRilla and CMG was trying to secure ownership of the track without putting him in the loop. This type of behind-the-scenes business drama is exactly what happens when a song blows up and everybody wants their piece of the pie. Told you and your manager every day that we was in LA with Sweetie that labels are going to try to sign you because of FNF.
Told you and your manager every day that we was in LA with Sweetie that labels are going to try to sign you because of FNF, so watch out. I also told you to let me know when labels reach out so we can be on the same page, but you still went and signed my song without telling me.
But Glo wasn't about to let nobody play her or question her hustle. Her response showed exactly why she was built different.
N-Word done made so much money from FNF and I haven't made not one red cent other than shows, but I'm still prospering because guess what? I can rap in real life and ain't no MF one-hit wonder. I wrote every single lyric and every single song I ever put out, and even after all this I still got love for Hitkid because we came up together even though he'd been going behind my back ever since the song blew up.
This early drama was just a preview of what was coming. The music industry is full of vultures and snake, and when you're a young artist blowing up fast, everybody wants to test you. Every major label was trying to get at her, flying her out for meetings and promising her the world. But Glo was smart enough to take her time and not get caught up in the hype. What made her different from a lot of artists who get steric by the major label courting process was her street smarts and business sense. She spent 2 weeks meeting with different labels before finally sitting down with Yo Gotti. And even then, she was nervous because Gotti was right there in Memphis and had that reputation. And so when I had finally linked with him, it was on a yacht. We had met on the yacht and stuff, and we was just chopping it up.
So when I had finally linked with him, it was on the yacht. We had met on the yacht and stuff, and we was just chopping it up. And then the rest was history.
How you get to Gotti last, though? Gotti right there in Memphis.
Right, because it's like, I don't know. I probably was scared.
But what sealed the deal wasn't just Gotti's street credibility or his paper. It was his vision for her career. Unlike all them other label executives who just saw FNF as a fluke or was trying to figure out how to recreate that same energy, Gotti recognized her potential and believed in her whole catalog. When she played him her unreleased music on that yacht, his reaction was immediate and genuine.
Soon as I pulled up and we was on the yacht, I instantly hooked up to the aux, played all my unreleased music, and he was just, we was just on the yacht vibing to all my unreleased music I got. So he was like, it just felt right. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he believed in me.
This wasn't about just milking one hit for Gotti. This was about building a dynasty, about understanding that Memphis had been running the rap game, and that Glo was the next queen to carry that torch. He saw an artist, not just a viral moment. How success made her a target for the system. When we left off, Glo had just inked that deal with CMG and was riding high off the FNF wave. But what happened next is a masterclass in how the music industry and the legal system can team up to humble artists who get too comfortable with their success. The first major red flag dropped in April 2024 when GloRilla got hemmed up in Gwinnett County, Georgia on some DUI charges. Now, DUI stops happen to celebrities all the time, but the body cam footage from this arrest showed something different. It revealed an artist who already knew she was being treated like a suspect before any evidence was even presented. Enlighten me on who you are. You're seeing me.
Enlighten me on who you are. You're seeing me.
No, because you still going to pick on me. It don't matter who I am.
Pick on you? I'm not picking on you. You're driving and I can smell alcohol off your breath.
But I'm not drunk. I can tell you that.
But here's where it gets real wild and real troubling. Despite going through the field sobriety tests and the officer making all these claims about her performance, Glo maintained her innocence throughout the whole ordeal. The footage shows a woman who's confused, frustrated, and slowly realizing that the deck is stacked against her.
Yeah, I'm on your TV.
Ma'am?
I said I'm on your TV.
On my TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
So get this over with because I'm not drunk.
This 2024 arrest should have been a warning sign, not for Glo, but for anybody paying attention to how the system treats successful young black artists. But instead of learning from this and treating her fairly moving forward, it seems like law enforcement was just getting warmed up. Meanwhile, Glow's career was absolutely exploding in ways that had the whole industry taking notice. Her collab with Cardi B on Tomorrow 2 and went crazy, and she was building a reputation as one of the realest voices in the game. But with more visibility came more scrutiny, and not all of it was fair or justified. The pressure of fame was showing in her personal life too. Shorty had already been through a serious heartbreak that had her not eating for weeks, and the constant attention was taking its toll on her mental health and relationships. I said, I never want nobody to have that much power over me where I can't eat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take the pill. I'm gonna take the pill.
That doesn't change anything. You still are going to be arrested.
For what? Okay. You don't have any proof on me.
No, ma'am, I do.
This vulnerability that Glow showed in interviews made her relatable to millions of fans, but it also painted a bullseye on her back. The legal troubles were stacking up in other areas too. There were ongoing beefs with former collaborators and producers, business deals going sour, and the constant pressure of maintaining her image while dealing with personal that would break most people. But it was how she handled criticism and controversy that really showed what type of person Glow was at her core. When she caught heat for using an offensive word in her lyrics in August 2024, she didn't double down or make excuses. She revised the bars and addressed the concerns head-on. This type of accountability is rare in the rap game, but it also showed that Glow was someone who could be reasoned with, someone who genuinely cared about her impact on others. On August 24, 2024, she responded by revising the lyrics to Me and My BH Got Naughty, sharing the updated version on X. The fans showed love for her addressing the situation with comments like, "Okay, Naughty, a considerate queen, and other artists should take notes. The drop of her debut album, Glorious, in October 2024 should have been nothing but celebration, but instead it sparked another controversy. The project included Rain Down on Me, featuring gospel legends like Maverick City Music, Kirk Franklin, Chandler Moore, and Kiara Shear, which had some folks in the gospel community feeling some type of way about these artists collaborating with Glow, given her explicit content. But her supporters came through with the facts, reminding everybody that Glow grew up in the church, served in the church, and was in the choir. This wasn't no calculated move to capitalize on gospel music. This was an artist going back to her roots, trying to bridge the gap between where she came from and where she was headed. But Glow wasn't letting nobody else write her story. She continued speaking out on important issues, including her stance on plastic surgery and body positivity. When faced with body-shaming comments, she responded with that raw confidence. "No, I'm not getting a BBL. I already feel like the thickest bit in da world." By July 2025, Glow had reached the top of her game, performing at major events like the WNBA All-Star Weekend. She was booked, blessed, and building an empire that would have made her younger self proud. But success, as she was about to learn, can make you a target in ways you never expected. The night of July 20th, 2025, while Glow was in Indianapolis on stage doing what she loved, living her dreams and inspiring thousands of fans, her crib in Georgia was getting violated by some grimy criminals who knew she wasn't home. 3 suspects broke into her house, and when an armed family member fired shots at the intruders, they bounced, jewelry got stolen, her family got traumatized, and a young woman's sense of safety and security got shattered. But what happened next is where this story takes a turn that'll have you heated and questioning everything you thought you knew about justice in America. Instead of focusing their investigation on finding the criminals who violated Glow's home, who terrorized her family, who stole her property, the police decided that the real crime was some marijuana they found in her bedroom closet. Think about that for a minute, fam. A successful young black woman calls the police because her house got burglarized, her family got traumatized, her property got stolen, and the police response is to arrest her for possession of some bud, a substance that's legal in mad states and decriminalized damn near everywhere else. And the most infuriating part, as of the latest reports, no arrests have been made in connection with the actual burglary. The real criminals, the ones who broke into her house, terrorized her family, and stole her, are still walking free. But Glow, the victim in this whole situation, is the one facing felony charges that could derail everything she's worked for. The fight back and what's next for the queen. When word got out about Glow's arrest, the response was immediate, and it was fierce as hell. Social media went absolutely bonkers with outrage, not just from her day ones, but from people across the country who recognized what they were seeing. Another example of the so-called justice system punishing the victims while the real criminals stayed free. But it was Glo's own response that truly showed the world what she was made of and why she's built different than most. She didn't hide in the cut, didn't stay quiet, and damn sure didn't let nobody else control her narrative. Her social media posts following the arrest were raw, unfiltered, and absolutely devastating in their honesty. Crazy. My house got home invaded Saturday while I was in Indianapolis performing for the WNBA All-Star Game. And instead of focusing on finding the suspects, they focus on some cannabis. This tweet, which got over 3.6 million views, perfectly captured the absurdity of the whole situation and resonated with people who done experience similar injustices.
Forsyth County Sheriff's Office said that the deputies responded to a report of a burglary in progress Saturday around 1:30 a.m. at a residence in the Atlanta suburbs. The Sheriff's Office says 3 suspects entered the house when an armed occupant fired at the intruders. GloRilla was not home at the time of the burglary, the Sheriff's Office said. The 3 suspects fled. No injuries have been reported in the incident.
So we got a clear crime breaking and entering burglary, terrorizing a family. We got clear victims, close family members who were staying at the house and had to defend themselves against armed intruders. We got clear criminals, the 3 suspects who broke in and stole jewelry before bouncing when they realized the house wasn't empty. But somehow, in the twisted logic of this investigation, the police decided that the real priority was going through Glo's personal belongings and arresting her for marijuana possession. They executed a whole search with K9 units and drone teams, got a search warrant for the house, and found what they called a significant amount of marijuana in plain view in the closet of the master bedroom. Here's what's absolutely infuriating about this whole situation. Glo's legal team, led by attorney Drew Finling, released a statement that perfectly captures how backwards this whole thing is. They pointed out that when Glo's family did the right thing and called law enforcement after the violent home invasion, instead of investigating the actual crime, police went and got a search warrant when they spotted some weed. Listen that one again, fam.
Ms. Woods was out of town when her residence became a target for a group of home invaders who most likely knew she wasn't there. What they didn't know was she had family staying with her that were traumatized by the violent entrance of this group, who grabbed high-value jewelry before taking off once they realized the home wasn't vacant. Finding law firm adds, when her family members did the right thing and called law enforcement instead of investigating the violent home invasion and theft at Ms. Wood's home, they instead sought a search warrant when they spotted what they believed was a small amount of marijuana.
No arrest warrants have been issued for the violent home invaders. The people who actually committed crimes, who broke into someone's house, terrorized a family, and stole property, are walking around free as birds. But Glo, the victim, is facing felony charges that could result in years behind bars. This ain't just about marijuana laws or drug policy. This is about a fundamental perversion of justice that prioritizes criminalizing success over protecting victims. It's about a system that seems specifically designed to bring down young black artists who dare to achieve independence and wealth without asking permission. And Glo ain't the only one who peeped game. The response from the hip-hop community and beyond has been overwhelming. Artists, activists, and regular people are all asking the same questions. How is this justice? How is this protecting and serving? How is this making anybody safer? But perhaps the most powerful response has come from Glo herself. Not through her legal team or publicist, but through her actions. Despite everything she's going through, despite facing felony charges that could destroy her career, she showed up for her scheduled Glo Bash performance at FedEx Forum in Memphis. She didn't hide, didn't cancel, didn't let the system break her spirit. And Glo's impact has been undeniable from day one. From her early days singing in the church choir to her current status as one of hip-hop's most authentic voices, she's consistently used her platform to speak truth to power and inspire others to do the same.